Tonight on 5 News, Brazil win the World Cup. Millions of Brazilians go nuts as they celebrate victory. And Glastonbury's marred as a man's killed by a hit-and-run driver. Some things, it seems, are just meant to be. Brazil have beaten Germany to win the World Cup, and Ronaldo, the genius with the funny hair, was the man with the golden touch. 2-0 the final result. Ronaldo is the tournament's highest goal scorer, and Brazil have now won the World Cup a record 5 times. Matt Rumsey reports on the Brazil-Germany World Cup final.
It all ended here in the Japanese city of Yokohama. Brazil clashed with Germany for the greatest prize in world football. South American superstar Ronaldo snatched at the limelight as the whistle blew. Brazil surged forward in search of glory. That shot from Clemerson ricocheted off Oliver Kahn's German crossbar. Kahn was instrumental in keeping the scoreline 0-0 up until half-time. That was Ronaldo denied again. Germany were not overawed. After the break, Oliver Neuville's free kick was heading into Japanese string. The acrobat was Marcos. The 17th World Cup final in history had its first goal in the 64th minute. It was Brazilian golden boy Ronaldo that finally had his way. 4 years ago he suffered a seizure and Brazil were beaten by France in the final. The pain of that memory was soothed today. The sound of samba in the stands inspired Ronaldo to a second goal as he claimed his rightful place in the World Cup history books. 3-time World Cup winners Germany were not outplayed today, simply outclassed. Brazil won its 5th World Cup title. Ronaldo won the hearts and minds of 1.5 billion viewers watching worldwide. Pelé could understandably not contain his national pride before presenting Captain Cafu with the most coveted footballing prize on the planet. Brazil are World Cup champions. Matthew Rumsey, 5 News.
Well, tens of millions of ecstatic Brazilians crowded onto streets across the land to celebrate their team's success. Only 12 months ago, they felt that their side didn't stand a chance, as it struggled even to qualify for the finals. But now a nation obsessed with the beautiful game can celebrate its record 5th World Cup victory. John Gilbert reports.
Brazil, the land where football really does come home. On Rio's Copacabana beach, thousands of fans gathered in the early hours of the morning to watch their heroes carry the World Cup home for an unprecedented 5th time. On the streets of Rio, as around Brazil, drums pounded and samba rhythms blared. Thousands of miles away in Berlin, however, a different story was unfolding. Tearful German fans commiserating in silence, their unfancied side outclassed and outplayed. Whilst in Kabul, Afghanistan, there was little succor for German troops. Part of the international peacekeeping force, they saw the game beamed in by satellite, only to suffer the humiliation of defeat.
I think I'm a little bit disappointed, of course, but it was a good game for Germany. It was a success to reach the final.
In London's Trafalgar Square, where just 10 days ago thousands of England fans saw their team knocked out, their conquerors descended. Nelson's column engulfed in yellow and green, and a cheeky reminder perhaps why Brazil are 5 times world champions.
Brazil won, fantastico. So happy because it's so different to win the cup here than win the cup in Brazil.
Ecstatic, really. No words to describe it. It's just a brilliant feeling.
Even England fans proved surprisingly magnanimous.
At least we lost to the winning side, that's all I can say. It wasn't Germany, therefore it's a great result.
And so, in this tournament of surprises, Brazil, outsiders from the start, win their 5th World Cup. Perhaps in itself, a small surprise at all.
And there are few who would dispute that the Samba boys deserved it. John Gilbert, 5 News.
North Korea has accused the Americans of pushing it to the brink of war as tensions remain high after a naval clash with South Korea. 4 South Korean sailors died and another is missing. South Korea blames the communist North and claims the attack was deliberately timed to ruin the celebrations of their World Cup campaign. Liz Spate reports.
South Korean sailors celebrating their World Cup win against Portugal just 2 weeks ago. Yesterday, their boat was sunk by a North Korean warship. The captain, Yoon Young-ha, was killed along with 3 of his crew. Today, their families were in mourning. 19 South Korean sailors were injured when their patrol boat was fired upon by 2 North Korean ships, which had strayed across the disputed north-south border in the Yellow Sea. The United States has condemned the clash, blaming the communist North for its armed provocation.
It remains to be seen how this will affect relations between North and South Korea and between North Korea and the United States. We're in close consultation with our Korean colleagues, and we'll see what happens in the days ahead.
South Korea's President Kim Dae-jung travelled to Japan today, refusing to let the incident overshadow the Germany-Brazil World Cup final. The North's aggression has been seen by the South as a deliberate attempt to mar their football celebrations. Predictably, North Korea, which doesn't recognise the ocean border, blames the South for provoking the clash. Tonight, the search continues for a South Korean sailor who is missing, presumed dead. As security patrols have stepped up around the Korean peninsula, plans are being made to salvage the sunken ship and to bury those who died on board. Liz Spate, 5 News.
More stories making the news this evening. The London Mayor Ken Livingstone has applied to rejoin the Labour Party. He was expelled from the party 2 years ago after running as an independent candidate in the mayoral election. Expulsions usually last for 5 years, but Mr. Livingstone is going to ask the party's ruling body to make an exception for him. The British Medical Association says a lack of training places is leading to shortages in the number of GPs and consultants. The BMA believes that up to 1 in 3 medical graduates are having to wait too long to take up specialist training places in hospitals. Some doctors are having to change their career plans as a result. American singer and actress Rosemary Clooney has died of lung cancer, aged 74. She had her first hit in 1951 and achieved worldwide fame starring alongside Bing Crosby in the film White Christmas. Her career nosedived in the 60s due to drink and drugs problems, but she later made a comeback. Hollywood heartthrob George Clooney is her nephew. They appeared together in the hospital drama ER in 1994. The Glastonbury Festival has been marred by the death of a man following a hit-and-run road crash. Police believe that he was killed by the driver of a VW camper, which was later found abandoned at an unofficial festival car park. Elaine Park reports.
Forensic experts examined part of the A361 road near to the Glastonbury Festival for clues. It was just after 5 o'clock this morning when the body of a man was found by a passerby. Police believe he was the victim of a hit-and-run driver. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Investigating officers believe a stolen white VW camper van, which was found in a nearby unofficial festival car park, is linked to the incident. Meanwhile, the 3-day event, which ends tonight, has passed off relatively trouble-free. Over 100,000 festival goers flocked to the Somerset site this weekend, but there were only 104 arrests this year, compared with nearly 700 2 years ago. High-level policing and this £1 million fence have been credited with the reduction in crime. But as the festival reaches its finale this evening, officers are trying to find out more about the dead man, and they're appealing for anyone who may have seen the VW white van in the early hours of this morning to come forward. Elaine Park, 5 News.
Now, Jonas is here with today's sport. What about that game today?
Well, it was a great game, wasn't it? Great tournament, well hosted, but what a good final. Ronaldo, clearly the star of the show. Here he is right now, actually, scoring the second of his 2 goals. I think this World Cup will basically be remembered because of him. He was the star, like I say, which is nice because 4 years ago he had all that controversy surrounding him, didn't he? So it's good for him, good for Brazil.
Great tournament.
Yeah, it certainly was. Anyway, other news now. And following England's cricketing defeat yesterday, it was Sri Lanka's turn today to face the in-form India. It was a packed house at the Oval, and Sri Lanka were looking for their first win in the NatWest Triangular Series. When their captain Sanath Jayasuriya won the toss and opted to bat earlier today, he was expecting to set a huge target for India on a mouth-watering one-day pitch at the Oval. They started well, the captain finding the boundaries seemingly with ease. But then it all changed. The Indian seamers started to pick up wickets, and suddenly it was 78 for 3 after only 15 overs. Jayawardene reached a half-century but was then softly dismissed soon after, caught and bowled here by Khan. After that, a high total was never going to happen, and they ended on 202 for 8. In response, India had a mixed start, but some pretty big hitting by Mongia here, and then his partner and crowd favourite Tendulkar helped them along to 100 for 3 casualties, casualties not including this poor pigeon. Some pretty good fielding here, but yes, definitely had to go off retired hurt.
Oh, poor thing. Anyway, I can tell you that India are currently on 135 for 5. Well, there was a stunning British clean sweep today in the Norwich Union Classic, 100 metres in Sheffield. The race was being billed as Maurice Green's revenge following the American World and Olympic champion shock defeat last Friday. But once again, as you see here, Britain's Dwayne Chambers snatched victory. Well, on to racing. The trainer Aidan O'Brien is the toast of Ireland tonight after High Chaparral completed a double of Epsom and Irish Derby victories. High Chaparral, ridden by Mick Kinnan, came through on the outside for an easy Budweiser Irish Derby win at the Curragh. Well, that's all the sport. Don't forget both Henman and Ruzetsky are in action at Wimbledon tomorrow, aiming for that quarter-final place. Charlie. Jonas, thank you very much. That's it for now. We've got updates here, of course, throughout the evening. But for now, from myself, from Jonas and everyone here, bye-bye.
Channel 5 weather, sponsored by RAC Auto Windscreens. On call, whatever the weather.
Hello, good evening. Well, a fair amount of cloud around today after the gorgeous conditions many of us have seen of late, and there's more unsettled weather on the way. The satellite shows some clear spells early on this evening, but plenty of cloud can be seen also pushing in from the west. So that affecting eastern parts of England and also Scotland overnight before clearing off into the North Sea. Elsewhere, some clear spells developing, but a few showers following on a rather brisk westerly wind. So too tomorrow, well, the south and the southeast, well, we should be okay for Wimbledon. Plenty of sunny spells with just the odd shower, but we will see more in the way of heavier showers, particularly through the north and west, and there may also be even the slight risk of thunder. It's also going to feel cool and windy with top temperatures around about 19 degrees. That's it from me.
Channel 5 weather, sponsored by RAC Auto Windscreens. On call, whatever the weather.